All right, we are live for another Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate here on the Arrow Title Services page. And my name is Lucie McGuire, obviously with Arrow Title Services. We host this every week to bring you guys the best information in real estate each week. If you are buying or selling, this is usually leaning towards the buyer side, but it's really valuable information no matter what. We have local realtors and lenders come on each week and share with you guys just what is going on in real estate and what we have a new topic each week that we mention, and we want to go through these different topics and just explain to you like what tips and what can help you in those certain scenarios or whatever it might be. So we all know that real estate's crazy right now. If you've listened to any of our videos, it's insane. There's kind of a lot going on in our world right now, but real estate is still going on. So it's one of those, the oil in the machine type of thing. So today we are going to talk about what if scenarios in real estate. Now this can cover a variety of topics, but I think it's going to be a really good conversation. It's always a great conversation with these amazing local professionals, which you guys can always reach out to any of them via their Facebook pages, which are in the description of this video. So they always take the time out of their days, their busy schedules, to share with us this information in real estate. And I know I appreciate it, and I know that you guys do too. So thank you to the professionals that are on here today. Let's get into this topic. And just so you guys know, if you guys are watching live right now, there are 3 portions of this video that we go through. So the first portion is we talk about the topic, which is the what if scenarios in real estate today. And then the second portion is their number 1 top tip of the week. And then the third portion is any announcements or anything they have coming up that they want to share with you guys. So it's always great information all the way through. Make sure you guys stay tuned to the end, and you can always watch the replay on our YouTube channel with Arrow Title Services, as well as if you are a lender or realtor yourself, feel free to join and you can send me a message and join us next week. All right, let's get into the topic. What if scenarios in real estate? Codi, take us away.
All right, so this is Codi, your favorite realtor, Bourgeois Real Estate Group. I'm just going to go through some basic stuff here. If you want to buy or sell, contact a realtor, preferably me, or my good friend Alannah here, or Katey. Let us help you prepare, execute, and succeed. If you are looking to rent, we'd be more than happy to help you with that as well. If you're in a situation where you took forbearance and you couldn't get it to, add it to the back of your loan or forgiven, and, you're in a situation where you have to pay the lump sum and you can't, give us a call. Let us put your house on the market before you get yourself into some type of foreclosure situation. Or if you simply just can't make the payments anymore because your job went away because of COVID or whatever the case is, call us. We can help you. If you are a for sale by owner, I implore you to find a realtor. Let us help you. We can help you move that property for quicker than you can, and more than likely for more money than you would get on your own. So give us a call. We have strategies in place that can help you move that property really quickly. The minimum wage situation has also passed. So that's going to be a tricky situation. Though some of you may be making more money, give us a call. Let us help you prepare because it's not going to be easy. And, home ownership, there's only a couple ways to create wealth. One is home ownership and stocks. Well, we're all about the home ownership. So give us a call. Let us help you prepare and find yourself in a good situation with real estate. Other than that, that's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Codi. Always a great start. Next, we have Alannah. So Alannah, what do you have to add to the conversation?
So Alannah, Ghazel with eXp Realty, guys. Hi, thank you for joining us. This topic is really great. Codi, you brought up some fantastic big scale points, things that people don't really think about till they're already in that position. I actually want to go a little nittier grittier with the topic. I love the what ifs. What if your home has things come up in an inspection that you weren't really prepared for or budgeted for? How do you deal with that? Who do you go to ask those questions? You come to us, your local professionals, because we're the ones who are able to help you brainstorm solutions, help you crunch numbers, help you decide what is and isn't a priority in your particular situation, because every transaction is unique. What ifs that come up? What if your home under appraises? What if your home over appraises? Depending on your perspective as either the buyer or the seller, those can have huge implications on whether or not the transaction goes full circle and actually closes. Who do you go to for those things? You come to us and you ask us those things. And there's so many opportunities for what ifs. I really don't want to take too many of them because I'd love to get into the discussion portion of it, but I just really want to piggyback on Codi's point. You want to get a professional in there with you, going through just the whole process. You want them at your side.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alannah. All right, and let's hear from Katey. What do you have to add to the conversation?
Hi, Katey Bourgeois with the Bourgeois Real Estate Group. Lucie, thanks again for this platform for us to speak to what's happening in the market and the flow of the process and interesting things that happen in the real estate transaction. And part of that is the what ifs. So Alannah hit it on the head. What if something happens? You're first, after you take a breath, then call us, ask us questions. And I feel so soothed listening to Alannah sort of, go through the soothing, the soothness in her voice when she's bringing up some super controversial, potentially, issues in the process of purchasing or selling real estate. On Thursdays, we try to focus from the buyer's perspective, and she hit it on the head. There are so many what if scenarios and what if situations. We could probably go on for days. To get more specific, I would say, going into sort of something I might say in a couple minutes later on, you have to hire somebody, a real estate professional who has got the resources, skills, technology, and tools to help you through the process. So someone who's from out of the area who doesn't know a good electrician, plumber, AC, that's going to take more time. It's going to add more frustration, which is not a good emotion to have while you're under this mortgage. And the mortgage process is stressful for some people because there's just so many things that they ask for. For most people, they're kind of going through the financial ringer, which is annoying because you're getting constant, bombardment for, required documentation, this, that, and the other. And then you have, this, it's a whole process of what ifs. If this, then that. We do it every day. So we're not emotionally affected by it, but we are in most cases, we are the emotional steward to help buyer and seller and the agents involved all take the information, see it for what it is, find the solution or an option of multiple solutions. And at the end of the day, we all work together, whether it's buyer and seller agent or inspector and appraiser and mortgage lender and insurance folks, and then those vendors that come in that maybe do those repairs before, during, or after the transaction. We're all working for one goal, to get you to the closing table. And we want everybody to be happy at the end of the day. There's a lot of altruism in our business where we'll do whatever we can any hour of the day to help make things easier for everyone, to get more information, to explain again and again. Doesn't matter how many times you do a real estate transaction, there's going to be something new in every deal. And we do see that quite frequently. So kind of belaboring that that sort of angle, that the what if. There's so many opportunities and examples, but really, resting on the trust and confidence you have in your real estate professional to get you from one step to the next really is going to be key for basically the success of the life of that transaction. So, we've gone over the process of real estate, and there are lots of pickups and lots of areas where things could happen. But I would say, come to it with a perspective of, our goal is to get you to the closing table. Let's work in a resourceful manner together, and an understanding and compassionate way with each other in order to get to the finish line. And right now, I mean, I've said it several times. I don't know if I've said it, on our weekly meetups, but we're all sort of under this really weird stress. It's a different kind of stress that we've never experienced before. Pandemic, economic unknowns. We're still counting ballots. Like, there's this really weird tension in the air with a lot of people. So tensions are running a little high, anxiety's running thick with a lot of people. Be patient with the process. Trust your real estate professional. Trust your insurance folk. Get a second opinion if you'd like, but trust that they're probably going to tell you the same thing here and there. There are some slight business practices from one brokerage to another, or one service provider to another. But generally speaking, we're all working towards the same goal to get you to closing. And in our business, no one gets paid until you get to the closing table. So really, truly, we have your best interest at heart. We're not getting paid until the end of the line, till we have happy parties on at the closing table. So we've talked a lot about what if situations in the past, and going back and seeing some of those videos might be helpful for anyone looking to purchase on, look at those Thursday videos, or if they're interested in what's going on in the market on the sales side, like Codi touched on, forbearance and foreclosure. Like, this is the time. If you are in a pinch, if you think you're going to be in a pinch, you need to call us. Please don't get to a point where you are now a distressed seller, where you have foreclosure demands, you have letters in the mail, your fees are behind. Please call us. The bank's not going to help you. We can help you. And if you look back to, the debacle in 2008, the banks, and through the years after that, the banks were not helping people. They were resistant to helping those individuals who had an income and didn't want to, pay too much for their current property because it was now undervalued. People were underwater on their mortgages, or their interest rates had spiked. So please look at your documentation, and please trust. I'm of the hallucination that the bank is not necessarily the best advocate for you, your money, your investment. So they're protecting their tail. We are your advocate on the ground, boots on the ground in this community. There's very low supply of housing, of single family homes, for the onslaught of the best qualified buyers in the market right now. So kind of buyer side, seller side, I'm talking your ear off. I'm sorry to take that much time. I get a little passionate about these things because, there's so many things that can happen. And truly we're a vital piece and resource for even if you're not having a real estate transaction currently. Call us. We've got a list of plumbers and AC and roof, and we deal with it all the time. So we can be your source of resources.
Awesome. That was great, Katey. Honestly, you brought up so many points that is going to throw us right into this discussion, because I was like writing notes. I was like, oh yeah, I got to notate that. It is a very emotional process for so many people, for pretty much everyone. If you are buying or selling a home, I mean, if you're selling your home, you're most likely going to go buy another home, or you're going into another scenario, depending on what that might be. But it's a very emotional process, and people get attached to their homes. And I mean, not only if someone's trying to purchase a home, that usually means there's a shift in their life going on. That means there's not just one thing changing. Usually several things are changing at the same time. So it's a very high emotion stake. And you had mentioned that the real estate industry right now. Everybody's kind of in this weird tension. So it only adds to the stress that's already there in real estate. And just having the people that are going to help you through the process, have your best interest in mind, and just make sure that you guys are making educated decisions on what's going to be best for your situation, whatever that situation might be. You brought up a good amount of points in there, but we do this discussion portion after everybody's spoken, and I want to bring up the fact and see what you guys have to say about what if inventories stay low. Because if you guys are on this call, if you guys have listened to Market Update Monday or listened to us in previous weeks, inventory right now is about, depending on if you're in Martin County or St. Lucie County, it's about 2 months supply, which in a normal market is 6 months supply if it is an even keel market, not a buyer or seller market. So 6 months supply is normal. We're at 2 months supply, which puts it in the seller's favor. So there are a lot of qualified buyers, like Katey was just mentioning, out there ready to purchase homes. People want to move here from all over the place, but people want to hold on to their homes too, for many different reasons that might be. But I'm very interested to see, and very interested to hear what you guys have to think about if inventory stays low. What scenario do you guys think we're going to be in?
I think
can I jump?
Jump.
So I'm not going to answer the way you expect. I'm going to tell you instead, I think that the way that we're getting the information out there right now and the nature of need that people are in, for sale by owners are the people to be looking at right now. For sale by owners are finally wising up to the fact that even though their home is fantastic and we're in a serious seller's market, their home is sitting, their beautiful home, and they don't understand why. And I think you're seeing a shift in people's perspective on whether or not it's worth paying for a professional to do the job if the result of that is them getting the results of the sale and getting to walk away and getting to take their next step. And I think that we as a community, especially on social networks, have been doing such a great job pointing out the need that, especially as this year winds to a close, we're going to start seeing changes in those mindsets, and we're going to start seeing them come onto the market. Maybe I'm an optimist. There's always a possibility that I'm wrong, but that's what I think is going to happen, that we'll see in the next few months.
That's a very good.
For me, it's like, I think that we just have to set their expectations on what's available currently, how quickly they are moving, what is available. Like, they may not find their dream place, but they may be in a situation where they have to pick something. So, all we can do is set that expectation, get them the best deal possible, and let them know what to expect.
Well, and to that point, Codi, oftentimes people are, I think, in my opinion, hung up on the location to the degree where, the product that they're looking for might not be in the location that they're desiring. So if we're doing exactly what you're saying and managing those expectations and really giving them a sense for, being able to weigh, is the product I want more or less important and a priority than the location I want?
Right.
There are a lot of opportunities here, even though they might not come in the shape you expect. And there's a lot of new build opportunities. There's a lot of westward opportunities. We're seeing things popping up, and like you said, shaping their expectations is really going to be the key to successfully, boosting this market.
Absolutely.
Great point, Alannah, about the new construction. Touching on that, we represent a land buyer who turns that land into homes. They are not buying enough land right now to build enough homes to satisfy the current market. So they're scooping up as much land as they can, and they're trying to build as fast as they can to meet the current demand of buyer activity. So it's difficult to predict or, say what's happening into the future. We don't have a crystal ball. We always wish we have one. I was just speaking with an appraiser, just ran back to the office here, met an appraiser today, who has over 30 years of experience in the business. And, you know, I always like to ask specific prediction. Like, what is your vision? What's, from your perspective as an appraiser? You've been around a long time. You look at data and trends. What's your prediction? And I agree. We were having a really good discussion with that, and we were talking about those individuals in forbearance before they get to any sort of foreclosure threat. We need to be helping them figure out what the next step is for them. There are a lot of families that are now combining households. We're seeing that as sort of a trend, and also as a result of a very lack of supply for, you know, they're going to bump up their budget and bring mom and dad or aunt and uncle or grandma, grandpa, multiple generations of people and their incomes or their assets, and invest in a property that suits all of their needs in a different way than we have seen popularized before. There's a lot of people that have done it, in the builders were looking at this multiple generational housing. They just haven't, you know, kind of, they've seen the trend. They just haven't, it hasn't happened as much in this area.
It hasn't, yeah, the product hasn't caught up yet.
In this area, yeah. And I mean, and to another point to that conversation that we had today, the materials are difficult to get. And as Codi pointed out, you know, the labor force is going to be more expensive. So, you know, when you raise that minimum wage, the cost of living is going to skyrocket. So I hope that they have I hope that it's done the right way, if done at all. It may go back, you know, it may go to our Florida Supreme Court. There may be some litigation on that. As a small business owner myself, that to me screams freezing hire. You know, there's no room in the budget for an entry level at $15 an hour, unfortunately. And I think that kind of resonates with a lot of small business owners. But you know, that things are going to continue to get more expensive. Some people may make more money, Codi, but not everyone.
I know.
And then the cost of living will be going up. So we're really going to have, I don't think that's the answer, but I'm not the end all be all. I am not I'm not a economic genius. You know, just speaking from my little piece of the world, which only means anything to me. But you know,
you're right about those need and that is a genuine impact to the building timelines and processes, for sure.
And we also need skilled laborers to take those products and turn them into a house. So we've always kind of had that slow motion issue as well with new construction. So it's hard to predict, but there's so many pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm noticing too is that there are a lot of apartment complexes going up lately. So one of two things are going to happen. Those people who are looking to downgrade, those houses are going to become available, or those apartments are just going to fill up, and then all those people are going to be looking for houses after that. So
yeah,
the market's just going to continue to get crazy.
You bring up a good point with that too, Codi, because not only the apartments that are coming up, but there's a lot of elderly homes that are coming up. And we have we just got, Port St. Lucie just got nominated, the best place to retire in Florida or something like that?
It was top five. I think
top
it was
five
of the top five, I believe.
Yeah,
like that.
So
worth noting, certainly.
It's up there, right? So for the people to retire, so those retirement places that they're creating, you know, those people live somewhere now, and when they move, if you know, obviously there's the generational aspect of if they're not moving into multi-generational homes with their children, then they might be going into those assisted living facilities where they can get a little bit more community and such like that. Those are going up all over the place and filling up quickly.
We like to call it resort style living here. Resort style living.
The complexes that are going up in PSL that haven't even been finished yet are filled up already. Like there's a waiting list.
Reservations available. Yeah.
It's bananas.
Yeah. And the one in Stewart, when was that projected to be finished being built? The one that they just cleared.
Oh, the river, the river one.
Yeah, on East Ocean.
Yeah.
There's going to be two next to each other. the place.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
isn't there another one off of US 1 just south of Indian, on the Lowe's side? And it's going to be right between those couple of communities over there. That has also been like zoned and approved for affordable housing, which is going to translate in our lingo to rentals. But I think you're onto something. There's either going to be, hopefully, we can help those forbearance, those people in those position to get into that downgraded position comfortably, be okay. We can rescue them and simultaneously be bringing inventory back onto the market so that the buyers who are ready can hopefully take advantage of that buy before the interest rate situation changes for them. Because you made a great point, Katey. They have amazing buyer power right now. And any seller who's getting into the pool right now is doing themselves a service, as long as that's the step they're ready to take.
Absolutely.
I still think we're gonna have to do some maneuvering because they call it affordable housing. But when you got a 2-bedroom apartment still going for $1,400-1,500 a month, I don't know how affordable that is.
I hope that's not the situation, because that's not a realistic price point for our people in need of that service.
Yeah, well, rent has gone up a lot in our area as well, just because, high demand. People, if they can't get in a house right now, then they have to go into rentals. I mean, we were talking about a shortage of we used to have a lot of short-term rentals be available in this area. And I know that there's been a lack of those as well, because so many snowbirds, like our season here in Florida is we have summer, which is usually when families are moving and everything because of school. And then we have the snowbirds who come down in the winter. And they usually come here and they stay somewhere for a couple of months until they find something, figure out exactly where they want to be, and those, short-term rental situations. Because a lot of those people are coming down here and they have, maybe a second home here, or they want to create that second home here, or they want to come down here permanently and they're done visiting here for those short amount of times. Because we have some people who just come here and will rent a place for 6 months or whatever it might be. Like, there's so many different scenarios there too.
So there was also something I heard recently from a little birdie that I thought was really interesting pertaining to this. I heard that the nursing home situations, the step above the assisted living facilities that are popping up all over the place, we here in the community see them everywhere. They're being built now, apparently, with the specific intention of, if they cannot fill, their spaces and they can't keep their doors open for whatever reason, rather than the building becoming a wasted space that needs tearing down, it's being built in such a way that it can be reestablished as another form of like apartment complex, but it would probably look more like a condo or a hotel kind of style. And so that's the way that they're being built, anticipating that need changing over time. So I thought that was really interesting. We'll see how it plays out.
That's a business model that was used by, specifically, there's what used to be an apartment complex here in Stewart, and then they created a condominium association, which it basically was as a rental community, and then started selling those units as individual units as part of the condominium. So they went from rental spaces to now single family attached properties. So there's definitely, there's always an end game, you would think, an end game with all that money that they're putting into these new buildings. They've got to be looking forward to see, put a full kitchen and a bath, or the ability to do that into the future, have it sort of plumbed, so to speak, so that the turnover, if it were to occur, it's functional.
Makes sense.
So,
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, there's so many dynamic aspects to the whole process here, and like our specific situation here in Florida, just our little corner of Florida, which a lot of people tend to come here for what we have to offer here. So it's been very interesting. This week, we usually have, for those of you who are watching live, we usually have lenders who come on here, but this week we weren't able to get anyone on, but they're always a great insight to have into this conversation as well. And I was going to actually, and maybe I'll ask you guys really quick and then we'll move on to the top tips of the week. But have you guys heard of any scenarios where someone was furloughed and then they came, you know, obviously they got back into their jobs, and how that lending situation was looking like? Have you guys had any scenarios come up?
And Codi did. With
Yeah,
COVID money.
this house I just closed on. So during COVID, what they did was they sent their employees home. They work from home. They apparently took advantage of the PPP, and they were paying their employees with that money. So their check stubs said COVID pay on them. Their pay didn't change. They still got 40 hours. And this was over probably a month. They opened back up. They went back to work. And probably a few weeks into them going back to work, their checks were still showing COVID. Well, the lenders are saying, you know, COVID pay, that doesn't, you know, we need proof that you had income during the time you were at home, or proof that you were still employed during this COVID time. So, like, you got to have your documentation in order and impeccable for these lenders, because they want to see steady income during the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious, Codi, how did that end up shaking out?
She ended up having to get actually a letter from her employer showing that her salary didn't change and she was employed the whole time. And, you know, the only reason why her checks were saying COVID was because they took advantage of the PPP when they had to send their employees to work from home.
Yeah.
So she had to get documentation from her manager.
Wow.
And you had a scenario too as well, Alannah?
Yeah, it worked out differently. I'm so glad that worked out for your client, Codi. Mine ended up, you know, they were one of two household incomes. One of them was furloughed, the other was not. They both needed to be at a certain margin between their credit and their DTI. And with her being furloughed, even though she didn't lose her job, she was without pay during that time. So they were now living off of one household income. And even though she has since now gone back to work, they are behind by a few months. And that put them in a position where they will not be ready to purchase again until they you know, ended up exhausting some of the savings that they had originally intended to put towards their down payment or closing costs. And so they're in a position where now they're looking at spring 2021.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
they're handling it like a boss, and it's just an unfortunate situation that's what they need. They need consistent income, and that's just the way it is.
I mean, and speaking of DTI, the other thing that they made her do was she had to go and downgrade the vehicle she was driving. She had to go trade it in so that she would be, I think it was like $100 less a month in car payment. And then they also look at like if you're getting alimony or child support or anything like that. I think they say it's got to be like 3 years consistent. If it's less than that, then, you know, they really can't use that income. So,
wow. Yeah, and I know one of the situations with the lenders too is with commissions. Like if you have a salary plus commission, or if you're just on commission, or I think it's salary plus commission. So if it's salary plus commission, you have to wait 2 years before you can even get that commission to be a part of your salary per se, like what they're going to consider for you to be a part of your payment. So when it comes to that, I wonder if they're still accepting those with those furlough pieces, and if they, because I know they do an average over those 2 years, so, or if that's just hurting the average and making it. I know that I've talked to some people where they're like, oh, you know, sometimes they only take the average of the last 6 months or the last year. And, you know, it really depends on the lender. So that aspect of the lending aspect is really important to speak with your lender, see what they offer, like what their systems and processes are. And just get with your local lender. If you haven't spoken with any lenders, or you are curious about that process, you can reach out to any of the lenders who have been on our calls before with Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate. They're always awesome. And you guys can watch those replays on our YouTube channel, Arrow Title Services. Katey mentioned them earlier as well. There's so many great topics that we've talked about in the past weeks: rent versus buy, new construction versus resale, You name it, it's about real estate, it's on there. So guys, go check it out on our YouTube channel. Check out those other episodes with these amazing local professionals. Now let's get into the number one top tip of the week. All right, so Codi, start us off. What's your number one top tip of the week?
My top tip would be to never give up. This market is crazy. Everybody that I talk to, whether they're trying to buy a house or rent a house, I have to lay out a specific scenario to them. This is what you need to expect. This is what you need to provide. Anything less is unacceptable. You know, in this market, we've got to do some maneuvering to get you ahead of the line. So there might be times that things seem like they're not going to work, or you're going to have some type of issue, but just never give up. Stay diligent, keep going, and trust that you can get to the finish line.
I love that. Made me want to sing, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. That was your free entertainment for the day, guys. A little bit of singing from Lucie anyways. Yeah. Alannah, what's your number one top tip of the week?
Oh, my top tip of the week is to get honest with yourself about your situation. It's not all rainbows and sprinkles. Look at what you actually have, talk to people you actually trust, and then use that information to make a game plan. That's what we got to do.
I think it's all rainbows and sprinkles. No, it's
Life's not all rainbows and sprinkles, Luce.
There might be some fudge sprinkles in there.
Might be a couple chocolate chips in there.
Listen, I'm explaining this to somebody on my phone right now. Like, this is what you need to produce. This is what you need to expect if you're looking to make this happen.
Love it. You guys are killing it out there. I love it. What about you, Katey? What's your number one top tip of the week?
Oh, I was inspired by Alannah's soothing voice. My top tip in real estate, you know, of course, hire a real estate professional, trust the process, trust your professional. And also, you know, let's just be cool. Let's calm down. Let's be compassionate. Let's understand we are all under a really unique type of stress that we've never experienced before. None of us have ever experienced what we're dealing with now as far as our day-to-day for the past, how many months has it been since March? So yeah, it's, you know, I feel it, I hear it, I see it. So, you know, hey, if you need to talk to somebody, call us. You know, if you're having a hard day, reach out to somebody, because we're all in it together. It sounds so cheesy, but really, I mean, we all have a total different response to what's going on. And, you know, trust somebody to take care of you and to lift that portion of the stress off of your life, or guide you through the steps so that we can come together at the closing table and kumbaya and give me the money. Here's the keys. Bye. Yeah. Have a happy life.
Listen, this market is forcing us to take what we know, go find out more, and be creative.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, and those who are pivoting, those are the people who are doing, you know, well. Those are the people who are, you know, making the difference.
Yeah, when you can sharp turn and learn on the fly, that's who you want in your team.
Absolutely. So, you know, it's a crazy time, but having your local real estate professionals help you through it. We understand that it is a process. We know it is stressful, and we just want to help you, guide you, and give you guys the communication and information that you guys need to be able to move forward. So any of these amazing local professionals will help you do that. I tell people all the time, and I guess this will be my top tip of the week, is just, you know, it's really about customer service. It's about customer service at the end of the day. Who is going to help explain it to you? Who's not going to be angry if you ask a question? Like Katey said, you know, all the questions that you ask, like, we have no problem answering them. Like, that's not a problem.
Every day.
If you have questions, ask them. Don't be afraid to ask. So we deal with this every day, and, you know, just stay calm as well. You know, just woosah sometimes, breathe. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get you to the closing table, whether it's in 30 days or like Alannah with your clients where they have to wait until the spring. Like, you're gonna get them there eventually. You just have to take the proper steps to get them there with the proper expectations. So you guys are awesome. I do want to go into the announcements portion of this. So anybody got any announcements coming up?
I do. I always do. Katey's got the microphone. So we last week and on Monday announced that we were going to have an open house at 2401 Sherlock Lane. So you can come and meet any of the agents that are hosting that day. Turns out, under contract, of course, you know, it went under contract. We made a price adjustment after a couple weeks on the market, and it's under contract. So we're looking forward to getting that one through the process. So yeah, we're jamming. Call us if you have questions in real estate. We're here.
See, we move them quickly.
Be prepared, guys. Be prepared. Anything else? Any other announcements from anybody? No?
No, we're ready for you. Come. Ask us your questions.
Call me, contact me anytime. I'm the guy that's going to answer my phone. No matter what time the clock says, I'll answer the phone. Call me.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You know?
Life, I know. No, I love it. All right, guys. So we do go live every Thursday at 2 p.m. So make sure you guys are following the Arrow Title Services Facebook page, because that's where we go live. And you guys can always watch the replay on our Arrow Title Services YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, there's a lot of other great information on there. We post our market update Mondays there every week. We post our Thursdays top tips in real estate, as well as we just have amazing, fun information about title insurance, because we all know that title insurance is so exciting. So if you guys want to learn more about title, that's up on there too. So we hope that you guys, yeah, I know, it's fun. We hope you guys will join us again next week for another Thursday's Top Tips and another amazing topic. Today's topic was about those what if scenarios in real estate. So if you guys are just tuning in now, make sure you rewatch the rest of this video, because it was a great conversation that we had about those situations in real estate that could come up and how to be proactive and getting by them. So until next week, we hope you guys have an amazing Thursday and weekend, and we will see you then. Have a great day, guys.
All right, take it easy.
Thank you, Lucy.